You're watching Delmarva Life, and this right here that you're looking at is an owl pellet. Now dissecting this is gonna be one of many things folks can do at the upcoming Eagle Festival this weekend and next at Blackwater National Wildlife Refuge. I've got Ray Patera, Visitor Services Manager, here today. Ray, what do we got going on here?
Well, this, like you said, it's an owl pellet, and this is puke, not poop.
Puke, not poop.
So what happens is, as you know, birds don't have teeth, so when they eat things, they either swallow it whole or they have to tear it into smaller pieces, but they're still relatively large sizes.
Sure.
So this goes down the throat. It starts out in the gizzard, and then the meat and all the nutrients pass through the system, but the part like the fur, and if it's a bird, it may be the beak, the feathers, the bones, that's not gonna pass through. They're not gonna digest that part of the animal.
Gotcha.
So this is what they puke out or regurgitate.
Wow.
So this is an owl pellet. And most of the owl pellets we get come from barn owls, and that's because they usually stay in structures, man-made structures, and it's easy to go around and collect these. They'll cough up or puke up or regurgitate a couple of these a day.
Sure.
They usually have to do it before they eat their next meal.
And people watching might be like, this guy's touching this, is this sanitary? And you were saying these are.
These are heat sterilized. So the way they sterilize so that you can touch them, and we have tweezers and we give the kids, if they want them, latex gloves and everything. And but they're heat treated, so they're sterilized, they're fine, and it doesn't break up the bones or the feathers or anything. Because what we want the kids to do is come out and be nature detectives. You know, tear this thing apart and see what's in here, and then once they start discovering the bones or the feathers, we have charts and they can figure out what kind of a rodent it is they were feeding on. So they'll feed on shrews, mice, voles, and the bones themselves are slightly different according to which rodent it is.
Cool. So should we dig in a little bit?
I think we should. Yeah, let's have a look.
So is there a way to go about this?
Ideally, kind of slowly. You don't want to just shred the thing immediately. You kind of want to get in there and open it up. Take your time. See right here? Oh man, I did a good one. So this looks like right here is going to be a skull.
What?
Yeah, oh, that's pretty cool. And again, once these kids pull these things out, I didn't plan this either, you know.
Wow.
I just picked a
You
pellet.
nailed it.
Yeah, I sure did.
You got a skull.
And that's what it looks like here. So if you
You
gently...
you must have to be really careful with it.
Yeah, so here you go. And if you look, I can see its teeth. Right there's the teeth. Right here on the sides, the eye socket.
Wow.
So based on what we pulled out, the kids can kind of clean it up a little bit more. And then based on this chart, you can see right here the rodent.
Yeah.
You see that it's got the teeth, the big teeth. Obviously, it's not going to be a bird skull because they wouldn't have the teeth. So the kids can discover that, you know, this owl ate a rodent, which is typical because barn owls, about 80% of what they eat are voles.
Gotcha.
That's their main diet. But they'll eat other things as well. They'll eat, you know, other rodents, as like I was saying.
That is fascinating. Now, while I dig for more here, because I need to come up with something cool.
Yeah, well,
you just did.
I set a high bar.
What else do you have going on at the festival?
Well, every morning we're going to start with either a bird walk or a bird tour. And by bird tour, I'm saying we caravan around the Wildlife Drive. So people get in their vehicles and then we'll stop and we'll get out spotting scopes and binoculars and get them onto some various birds or whatever else they, you know, is out there. Could be deer, could be fox. And then each day we're going to have owl pellets for the kids to dissect. We're also going to have an archery range set up.
Yeah. Ray.
Oh, darn it. You outdid me. Did you outdo me?
I
mean, that was pretty cool, though.
I mean, I got a skull, too. Check that out.
That is. That's nice.
This is like...
And see on yours,
yeah,
you can see the teeth in the back as well.
Oh.
That's pretty cool. So you've got the front teeth, but you can also see the back teeth.
Goodness.
Yeah, that is neat.
And I can't believe how, like, satisfying this is.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, look at this, a little part of the leg. And again, like I've got this piece here.
I've got
and we can look at we can look at these charts.
Yeah.
See right here, if you look at mine, you see this chart. Let me see if I can get a hold of this easier. You see right here, it's a hip.
Oh my goodness.
So not only do you start pulling out bones, but you get to be a nature detective and kind of figure out what part of the animal you're looking at. So we've got a skull, we've got a hip. This appears to be another.
What have I got going on? I think I have another thing here going on, but I'm like a little nervous to like.
That looks like another skull.
A two-skull
A twofer,
day?
yeah.
Wow.
Two-skull pellet, oh boy.
Fascinating stuff. And of course,
Oh, look at me. Doesn't that look like I'm about ready to get one too?
Oh my goodness. This is wild. I could do this all day. I probably should allow us to take a break though before I get far too into it. But coming up here in a little bit, we're gonna talk about some of that archery.
Yep.
We're gonna practice some of that archery. And we are also gonna learn some tips on eagle spotting.
Yes.
All right. You're watching Delmarva Life, and from owl pellets to now archery, we're still outside hanging out with Ray Patera, who is the Visitor Services Manager for Blackwater National Wildlife Refuge. You guys have a big festival coming up this weekend and next weekend, the Eagle Festival. And obviously, the owl pellet experience for me was amazing.
It is.
I can't wait to talk archery now.
Yeah, let's talk archery.
You have that going on too.
We do. Again, like you had said, it's a 4-day event. Pretty much starts 9 in the morning and goes until, well, we got a bike ride at 3 that ends at 5, and then we've got one program also on Zoom on Sunday night at 7 o'clock. So it's basically a full day of activity.
Sounds like it.
So some is more adult oriented and some stuff's more kids oriented. This is one of the more kids oriented activities.
Sure. So we've got some bows and arrows, and,
Yes.
and is this normally what you would use, or?
We either use this or we also have compound bows which have the wheel.
Okay.
It's just a little more advanced than this. This is called a recurve.
Yeah.
So these are good as far as a starter, and it's not a left or a right because you just have the shelf here. So
Gotcha.
anybody can use this.
So
Other
what's the-
ones that have an arrow rest are either right-handed or left-handed.
Gotcha.
So for you, if you're right-handed,
Yep.
you're gonna knock the arrow
Knock it. Yep.
on the left side.
Okay.
And then as you pull back, just your first bend is all you want. You don't want to touch the arrow. You just want to use the string and pull back.
Yeah.
And you're going to draw it right to your cheek.
Okay.
And then when you're ready, all you're going to do is just straighten your fingers.
Oh, that was a nice shot.
I was close, but I did
You were
miss.
very close.
Very close.
All right, here we go. I'm knocked. All right.
Yep, you're knocked.
Knocked. Oop. Not knocked. Okay, so like just the beginning
Yep.
of the fingers here.
And straighten out, draw right back to your cheek.
Right back to my cheek. I'm gonna go for, I don't know. I think I'm just, oh wait, okay, here. Just let go.
Yep, just straighten your fingers.
Ray!
Nice!
Oh, that felt nice.
First try.
All
I
right.
bet it did. I missed. We're not gonna point that out anymore.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. Now, while we re-knock for round 2 here,
Yes.
obviously you were talking a little bit about how you're gonna do bird walks and
Yeah.
all that. Spotting an eagle.
Yeah.
It's not an easy task.
It's not
Do
easy.
you have any
No.
tips for us on how to do that?
Yeah, well, out of Blackwater, there's a lot of
Right,
eagles.
yeah.
We've got over 100 eagles. Every year we do surveys, so we've got a really good eagle population. When they're younger, it's a little bit more difficult because when they're first born, they're pretty much all dark colored, black.
Yeah.
So a lot of times they get confused with a vulture, or
Exactly.
some people confuse them with a golden eagle. So initially they're all black, and as they begin to age up until like age 4 or 5, they don't have the head's not white yet.
Gotcha.
And then you're talking a wingspan anywhere from, in the female, around 8 feet, and for the male about 6 feet. So it's got a pretty good wingspan.
Yeah.
If it's an adult, it's fairly easy to identify. If they're younger, it's often gets confused with either the golden eagle or the vulture. But in flight, when you look at them in flight, a vulture tends to bend and have a little more V, and they rock back and forth. An eagle usually keeps its wings straight, and it's more of a direct gliding
Kind of a
path.
glide.
So if you look up, and you'll even here in Salisbury, you'll look up and you'll say, oh, it's an eagle. Well, the first thing to look at is it teetering back and forth or not. That's the first telltale sign that you're probably looking at a vulture.
That makes so much sense. For people who are seeing this, who are like, I gotta get to the festival, I gotta be there.
Yep.
Where can they find your information and all that stuff?
If they go to the refuge website, it's FWS for Fish and Wildlife Service, .gov for government, /refuge, and then /Blackwater.
Gotcha.
So fws.gov /refuge /Blackwater. That'll bring them to the website. And then from there, they go down to events, and then you'll see it. So they just go in and pick whatever day they want, and right there, it's all free of charge.
And
Right
you
there,
don't-
they get their ticket. Yep.
So they do sign up ahead of time?
Yep, they
Okay.
sign up ahead of time because we are limiting the number of participants.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. Cool. Well, it sounds like it's going to be 2 amazing weekends.
It should be.
All right, Ray, and let's face off here one last little.
All right, here we go.
archery, okay,
Which one are
ready?
you going for?
I think I'm going to go for this blue one right
I'm
here.
going to go for that red one.
All right, ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
In 3, 2, 1. Oh, you got it. I did. Hey,
1-1.
Now we're even.
It's okay. Who's keeping score?
That's it. Perfect. Well, Ray, thank you so much for hanging out with us today
Appreciate
and bringing all the fun things. And I hope the festival goes amazing both weekends.
I do too.